What's new, folk crew? It's your UturnCrobat here, and I'm bringing you a video that's, to me, it's very, very exciting. I first want to acknowledge that the NPCC, the National Pokemon Competitive Conference, if you are familiar with Season 1, then you should be following our new Twitter by now. If you're not following the new Twitter will be down in the description below, because we had to make a new Twitter for Season 2! That's right, we are on Season 2. Now, Season 2 is going to be a lot bigger than Season 1. Season 2 is going to have a lot more hype than Season 1. Because Season 2 has 16 members. The 16 members, we have some returning people in that group. We have Monkeys and Roncito. The other members that are included is Bradioactive, LG Legendary, Jerry Oak, Don Fanatic, RTK. They're both in the PPL if you're not familiar with them. New Age Steel and Sharp Dress Gaming. I'm going to have a list of all the other members down in the description below, so you can get more familiar with them. Their Twitter link is going to be down there as well, so you can make sure you go follow all the members and everything. But I didn't really want to make this video too awful long. That's why I may have left some people out, and I'm sorry that I left you out, but you're going to be in the description, so hopefully you get some new followers. Guys, make sure you go follow every member of Season 2 of the NPCC. Now, with 16 members, we had to split it up into 2 divisions, so 8 and 8. Sun Division and the Moon Division. It made more sense to do it that way because we have a butt-ton of members this season, so we kind of thought it would be a good idea just to split it down in half, you know, with the 2 divisions and all. Now, as for scheduling, the battles will be on Saturday. Saturday the 11th. The first battle of the 2nd season will be uploaded. So, I have some things I kind of want to go over, because you're probably wondering what my draft looks like. Now, my draft consists of my Tier 1 Pokemon, VICTINI. Now, the reason why I chose VICTINI is because, well, the reason why because I do have a team builder. We discuss who to draft, we discuss how to really make a proper team, because I go over things with him, and we just kind of talk back and forth, and we discuss, and we plan, and that's how we kind of make our decisions. So, we kind of decided that we wanted VICTINI. We wanted to kind of make a roster and team around VICTINI, because VICTINI is a nuke. I mean, who wouldn't want VICTINI? VICTINI is very versatile as well, so that is why we wanted VICTINI as our Tier 1 pick. We were hoping it wasn't going to get drafted, but if it did get drafted, then we were going to choose, I think it was going to be our Mega, who we were going to choose first, if VICTINI got picked. But luckily, VICTINI didn't. So moving on to our Tier 2 pick, we chose SCOLIPEDE. Now, if you're familiar with Season 1, I got swept by SCOLIPEDE, because I unfortunately did not bring Skarmory, and he brought SCOLIPEDE, and, well, it turned out to be a very bad time. So, we didn't bring SCOLIPEDE, but now we have SCOLIPEDE for Season 2, and I've never used it before. The whole roster that I'm going to be mentioning, I haven't used, like, half of these Pokemon, so it's going to be really cool using them. But SCOLIPEDE, the reason why we chose it is because it is our Hazard Mon. It can learn Toxic Spikes, Stealth Rocks. I believe it gets all 3 of those. And, you know, it can definitely be an offensive Mon. I'm not going to reveal too many secrets, but let's just say I can do quite a few things with SCOLIPEDE if I didn't really want it to be a Hazard Setter-Upper. So moving forward to our first Tier 3 pick, we have Vaporeon. Now, I kind of wanted to get Melodic back from Season 1 to Season 2 on our side, but unfortunately, Jacob as always, I'm bad with names, I'm so sorry, man, but he chose Melodic. I'm almost positive he chose Melodic, but we really needed and wanted a defensive Mon that can kind of do what Melodic did, so we figured Vaporeon would fit that slot perfectly. And the reason why Vaporeon came on our side is because it is a great wall, physically and specially, and it really is a great Scald switch-in, with that Water Absorb. And Hydration is its hidden ability. I don't really know if that's a thing now. I don't know. All I see is Water Absorb. So I don't know. I don't think it's really out right now, but it doesn't really matter because Vaporeon will put in the finest of work and will definitely be a great wall to have on the new London Zoroarks team for Season 2 of the NPCC, the National Pokemon Competitive Conference. So, for our second Tier 3 pick, we really wanted Nidoking. Nidoking is very, very versatile, but it got drafted. So, we either wanted Nidoking or Nidoqueen. So because Nidoking got drafted, we chose Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is just as versatile as Nidoking. It can be defensive with hazards or a life orb attacker, you know, with sheer force. It definitely packs that punch. So, even though we didn't get Nidoking, it's fine. Because Nidoqueen does what Nidoking does, and it's perfect. It's perfect. It's definitely immune to electricity. It's kind of slow, so we kind of have to think about how we're going to use Nidoqueen properly regarding speed, but I'm sure we'll be able to come up with some things. I feel like Nidoqueen fits perfectly on our team so far, just because if someone wants to throw a Thunderbolt, whatever, to VICTINI or SCOLIPEDE, VAPOREON even, you know, Nidoqueen sits perfectly right there. So for our Tier 4 pick, I've been looking at this Pokemon ever since the league started. Ever since the second season, at least, started. I've been looking at this Pokemon because it's been one of my favorite Pokemon. You can run black glasses on this thing, but it's Spiritomb. Spiritomb is our Tier 4 pick. It's a defensive wall, and it can very well be a Calm Mind Sweeper. Pain Split, it gets Pain Split for some recovery, and it gets priority. It's a spin blocker, and the only thing that threatens it is fairies, so having Spiritomb on our team is pretty freaking awesome, because only one thing really destroys it, and it's fairy, and that's not bad. Like I mentioned, it's a defensive wall. I believe it's specially defensive as well, if I'm not mistaken, but even so, Spiritomb's gonna help us out. It really will. We can use it as wall if we want, but if we really needed it to be an attacker, we can just put on the life orb on it, and we can, you know, just do some crazy shit with it. So I'm looking forward to using Spiritomb. Whether it's coming this week or not, you'll have to wait and find out. But Spiritomb is definitely a great Pokemon to have on our team. It's a spin blocker like I mentioned, so I'm happy with it. Moving forward to our Tier 5 pick, we were thinking that we wanted a Mon that was very, very fast. We wanted a Mon that could kind of be as fast as some of these other Pokemon that we have chosen, and we needed priority. We also wanted Ice as well. Having Dark would be pretty cool as well, so we chose SNEASEL, because SNEASEL is the Dark and Ice Pokemon. Now, if someone wanted to throw out a Psychic, you know, obviously SNEASEL's immune to it, and we just really needed Ice, because there's a ton of Pokemon that are weak to Ice. And having Icicle Crash and Ice Shard on SNEASEL will definitely work. It's one of our straight-out attackers, as you can see, because why would you run SNEASEL defensively, or even specially defensively? It's not like, you can't run SNEASEL like that. You can't. SNEASEL's an all-out attacker. Like I mentioned, it gets priority with a great Ice Stab. And that's really what we were looking for. That's what we really wanted, actually, is just a great Ice Stab. We didn't really have that, and I'm glad that we got it. I'm glad no one drafted it. I'm glad that we were able to get our hands on it. But, moving to our Mega pick. Our Mega pick! Okay, guys. So, in the beginning of the season, we were looking at this Mega, and we were hoping that nobody was going to draft this, because we really wanted and needed this Pokemon, this Mega, on our side. But our Mega is Mega Lopunny. And the reason why we chose Mega Lopunny is for obvious reasons, because it's a straight-out attacker and it's a great revenge killer. I mean, who wouldn't want Mega Lopunny on their side? It doesn't matter if you bring a Ghost in on a Fake Out or a Return. It doesn't really matter at all, because Mega Lopunny gets, Scrappy, I believe it is. I think that's the name of it. But it gets that ability where you can hit Ghosts with normal type attacks. Fighting, it doesn't really matter. You can destroy Ghosts with the Mega Lopunny, and I'm so happy that we have Mega Lopunny on our side. Mega Lopunny has been one of my favorite Pokemon ever since it got its Mega. So, you know, keep an eye out for Mega Lopunny. She's going to put in a lot of work. Moving forward to our Tier 1 free pick, we wanted a Mon that was kind of defensive but could also run as choice specs as well. But we chose ZAPDOS. As you see in the GBA, you know, Mogwai is using ZAPDOS perfectly, or he did. I kind of forget now if he has it still, but you've seen it run, you've seen what it can do, and it's perfect at what it does. So we figured ZAPDOS would fit perfectly on our team because it's defensive, especially defensive as well. It just has good overall defenses. And so, like I mentioned, we could run specs on this thing, and so it would be a great defogger as well. It's very versatile. It can be offensive, like I mentioned. It could be specs, life orb. It doesn't really matter. It can be offensive. And it can be physically or specially defensive, like I mentioned earlier as well. So ZAPDOS, I feel like, is a great mon to have on our team. Even on, you know, it's a great mon to have on the roster. So hopefully ZAPDOS can put in a lot of work. We'll see. We'll see. So for our tier 3 free pick, we had Fortress for the pick to set up hazards and to get rid of them, and it was a great pivot with Volt Switch. But as we continued, we realized we wanted a Grass Mon and a Fairy because we didn't really have any fairies. You know, Dragon Spam was a thing. If we didn't have fairies, it would have destroyed everything. And so Dragon Spam was not going to be nice to us at all if we didn't have a fairy, so we really needed to consider just getting rid of Fortress and giving ourselves a fairy. Now, we wanted to have a Fairy Dragon Steel Core, and a Prankster was really too good to pass up, because we ended up choosing Whimsicott. Whimsicott is such a great Pokemon to have. Now, Prankster Stun Spore will force a lot of people to run safety goggles if we don't bring Whimsicott. It will make our opponents waste an item, which is freaking amazing. We can kind of fake them out, no pun intended with Opini, but we can fake them out. We can kind of get inside their minds, and maybe we can have them think we're bringing Lopunny so they can run safety goggles instead of a choice band or a choice specs or whatever. You know, we'll kind of get inside their mind and kind of do it that way too. Now we may have lost Volt Switch with Fortress, but we gained a pretty damn good U-turner. Now Whimsicott also gets knockoff. Now we're not going to be using it as a physical attacker at all, because why the hell would you run Whimsicott as a physical attacker? It's more special. But you know, having a knockoff user on our side, it helps. It definitely does help. You really do need to consider having a knockoff user on your roster or even on your team. It does help a lot. Now, Whimsicott's typing is what we really needed, the Grass and the Fairy. We also have great coverage for its weaknesses. You know, its first weaknesses. So, you know, if someone's going to be using Fire Blast, we have Vaporeon there. Now, it definitely ties our team together and synergizes with Vaporeon really well, like I was trying to just explain. If someone chose to use a Flamethrower or a Fire Blast, we have Vaporeon there to take that hit. And even if someone wants to use a Moonblast or Dazzling Gleam on Whimsicott, I don't know, then Vaporeon is there to take the hit. So I'm just so glad we have Whimsicott on our team. Something is in my eye. Give me 1 second. Okay, and so for our next pick, we had a tier 4 free pick. Now, we really wanted a dragon. We also needed ground, because looking at our roster, we didn't, I mean, the only ground we had was NIDOQUEEN, but we needed a ground that levitated as well, because the whole team would be weak to spikes and stealth rocks and all that mumbo jumbo. So we just needed a mon that would kind of levitate over everything, and that was ground and dragon. So we chose Flygon, because Flygon is a great defogger, and it absolutely takes the pressure off of ZAPDOS. Because if we bring ZAPDOS and Flygon, we really just needed one of the two just to have defog. We didn't want, you know, we didn't want ZAPDOS to carry defog all the time. So having defog on Flygon would be perfect. So hopefully you guys will see that combo come together at some point and work well. Now, a defogger, we needed a defogger who wasn't weak to rocks, like I mentioned. We needed someone to levitate over all that. And we really needed someone who could be a really good choice Scarfer, hence Flygon is a really good choice Scarfer. And we needed a Pokemon that could be run as special as well if we needed it to. Flygon fits that role perfectly. So I feel like Flygon is a great mon to really have on our side, and I'm glad we chose it. Flygon isn't a bad Pokemon to use competitively at all. It's pretty damn good in my opinion. But moving on, for our last tier 4 free pick, we chose Bronzong. Now, we chose Bronzong because we really needed another wall. We were looking at the team, and we didn't really have a Steel anymore because we got rid of Fortress. So we needed a mon that had Steel because we wanted that Dragon Fairy Steel combo, that core. And so Bronzong fit that role perfectly because, like I mentioned, it's one of our walls. Levitate will absolutely help us with the earthquake spam that you do see in competitive battles. And it gets rocks. Gyro Ball with minimum speed will hurt anyone who isn't really resistant to it. And so looking at our whole entire roster right now, I feel like we have a lot of coverage. We have a lot of Mons who you know, take other Mons' weaknesses, if that makes sense. It's just great coverage. We have great walls. We have a great wall core. We have great special attackers, great physical attackers. So I'm happy with this team. I really, really am. Scruffy Fox is such a great friend of mine. He's a great team builder. I don't know what I'd do without him. He's a great friend. I appreciate the hell out of him. So if you're watching this, thank you. I appreciate you, and you're amazing. Thank you. But this team, this actual roster, rather, is phenomenal. We tried covering all of the weaknesses. We tried getting hazards. We tried getting Volt Switch U-turn. We tried getting immunity. We tried getting levitate. We tried getting rapid spin blocker. And I feel like we did very, very well coming together drafting these 12 Mons. So, you know what? If you guys are excited about this league, about this season like I am, then please go follow the NPCC in the Twitter, in the description below. The Twitter link will be down in the description. At NPCC_Pokemon. Make sure you go follow us. Dude, we have so many members, and I'm stoked. I'm ecstatic. I'm hyper. I'm excited. You don't want to miss a damn thing. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I didn't want to make this video too long. I kind of wanted to go over my Mons and just have a brief explanation of them. But like I mentioned, I'm gonna get the hell out of here because I have more recording to do. But go follow us, and I'll catch all of you all on the flip side. Peace, guys. Bye.